You got an injury there, Mayo?
Not exactly, sir.
Hey, this is really wonderful work. Where'd you get this, Mayo?
Subic Base, Philippines, sir.
Ah, thought I recognized the work. Be proud of them wings. They're the only ones you're gonna leave here with. Mayonnaise.
It's our pleasure to reveal the winner for the best performance by an actor in a supporting role. Louis Gossett Jr. in An Officer and a Gentleman.
The winner is Louis Gossett Jr.
You know, when you prepare a speech, it's no use because it's all gone. I tried to get my kid to come up here to share this with me. I've got a spirit that guides me, starting with my great-grandmother who died at the age of 117, and my mom and dad, who I know are watching, and my cousin Yvonne, thank you. You make everything fall into place. And all you other four guys, this is ours. Thank you.
Somebody big just died. Louis Gossett Jr., the first African-American man to win a Best Supporting Actor Oscar, is dead at 87 years old. And here to help eulogize him is the one and only Mike North. Mike, how are you, my friend?
Joe, you're getting ready to go on vacation.
Yes.
Everything was going well. We had gone spotless for a few days. We were going to by the week, somebody dying, 2 people dying. And then we get hit with this news. One of the great actors, the first black actor, as Joe said, to win the Supporting Actor Award for An Officer and a Gentleman, who, you know, I watch it. I've only seen it a couple times. It was a great movie, but there's some painful parts in that movie that, you know, I don't care to see again. You know what I mean? There's just some issues. His buddy, you know, hangs himself in the movie. Louis Gossett Jr. was great. I was in the service. Yeah. I had a black drill sergeant named Sergeant Marv Hubbard. And he's exactly the drill sergeants in the Army back in the 70s, I know, were buttoned down. I'm sure they still are. Just this guy was. He went and he checked everything out. He went to work out with those guys and to see how drill sergeants are. And he just, believe me, take it from a guy who went through basic training, AIT school, MOS school for MB. He nailed it. He nailed that role. And he could have been a drill sergeant and you wouldn't have known it was Louis Gossett Jr. 87, had a good run. But time flies.
It worked until the end, man.
Yeah, time flies. And you know when time flies? There comes that day. Yes, that day when somebody's got to sign off on you. And where do they have to go? Yep. Where everybody should go. Cumberland Chapels. That's right. 8,300. Joe liked when I signed off on it. 8,300 Lawrence. That's right. Norwich, Illinois. Family owned and operated. The Lupos, the Martinos. These people are fantastic. They take care of you from beginning to end. They have tremendous testimonials. You can go to the website. You can check it out. CumberlandChapels.com. Just tremendous. There it is. Takes up the whole block. The parking on the left, the parking on the right, the parking behind. Huge shopping center across the street. Plus plenty of street parking. And sometimes you need it. I mean, I don't know. I think I saw the funeral for the policeman today, and I want to give him, Officer Hiller, bow and
condolences for sure.
I just saw the crowd that went to see him. They're going to be there for 3 days. It goes through the whole. They just showed it on. Check it out on Twitter. I just tweeted it out at North to North. You want to talk about a crowd? It goes for miles. So God bless him. And God bless Cumberland Chapels. And you know what? Afterwards, after you go pay your respects, or when you have a wedding or any kind of special event. I know somebody that's having a party there for 25 people. They got numerous rooms. It's Pennyville Station right there. There it is. Established in 2018. Tony Antonacci, the proprietor. Tino Antonacci, of course, his father, the ambassador of restaurants in Chicagoland area.
That's right.
Pasta. Now this place. He's had other places. They've kept things alive over there out in Park Ridge now. Across from the train station, there's Jesse Rogers.
Look at those guys.
I had a good hair day that day. Anyway, 112 8th Street, Park Ridge, Illinois. We thank them. Without their support, we couldn't do this great show. Tremendous sponsorship. Chicago sponsors, nothing like him. He was born May 27th, 1936. March 29th, died Santa Monica. Had a great life. He had been ill as early as the 90s. Was married 3 times. Hattie Glasgow from 67 to 68. It's like a one-night stand. There he is with Sidney Poitier.
Yep.
He's like just tremendous. Roots he was in. He always changed his look.
Good-looking guy, man.
Oh, yeah. There's him in gear. But, you know, just a tremendous, between the two of them, tremendous acting. And then there he is, just a great guy. Was born in Brooklyn. Mother was a nurse, father a porter. Alumnus of Mark Twain Intermediate School. Attended New York University. Now, I asked Joe, I go, now people don't know this. That's why we do this show.
That's what it's all about. That's why you watch us.
Because people don't even realize, you know, you watch the loose gossip stuff all over. He was supposed to be Gale Sayers in Brian's song. So I tell Joe, I go, Joe, I don't care what you do. Just get the picture of him. Because I remember a picture of him back in the day as Gale Sayers. He was supposed to play the role. Okay? What happened was, and let's see if I can find it here. I want to make sure I get it accurate. Here we go. He got hurt. He was slated to do the role.
Yep.
With James Caan. Work it out. Just like a football player would. In shape. Would have been great as Gale Sayers. I wasn't completely bowled over by Billy D. Williams as Gale Sayers. I liked him. But Lou Gossett Jr.'s Gale Sayers would have been more stern.
It would have been better. Yeah.
Yeah. Like Gale was. Gale was stern.
Billy Dees doesn't.
Go ahead.
I was going to say Billy Dees doesn't really hit until he gives that speech towards the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Like before that, it was just kind of like, but that speech, it made it for him.
We're in the same backfield. What do you say? You know, all that stuff. Lou Gossett Jr. had the mood of Gale Sayers down, but he ripped his Achilles tendon, and the producer promised him, because this was a huge opportunity. James Caan was Brian Piccolo. I just watched it a week ago. And Gossett was fast. But if you know the slow motion scenes, James Caan was faster than both of them. So in the scene where they're running, Caan had to slow down so Billy D. Williams would beat him.
Wow.
Yeah, great movie. Testimonial to him. Also, the Roots thing was huge. So then 6 years later,
will be playing Alabama, according to Wikipedia.
This lady never shuts up. I'm trying to get this. According to this, there he is. Look at these two guys. They aged well, huh?
Yeah.
Look at that. He was a class act. But according to the producer, Whopper, who said, you know what? You can't play Gale Sayers because you're hurt. I'll get you something down the line. And then he got the role 6 years later in Roots. And then that just helped everything out. Now, I didn't follow him. Huh?
At the time, it was the biggest miniseries of all time.
Right.
Roots.
Roots was huge.
Yeah.
And he finally got the role of Fiddler. Okay. Then after that, he did the Choir Boys. He did The Deep. which was the eighth highest rated film and ranking film in 77. He was in other movies. He's been in a ton of other movies.
He has a separate You watch what?
I lost track with him. You know,
that's what I was gonna say. I'm like, he's got his own. There's a separate Wikipedia page for all his movies and stage work. He was active from 1961 in film all the way until 2024, and then he has 3 things that haven't even come out yet.
Yeah, I would say
insane,
this,
Mike.
It was it's between him and Morgan Freeman. I mean, seriously, I bet you there's some. Lou Gossett Jr. could have played the role of Morgan Freeman in Shawshank, and Morgan Freeman could have played in other movies that Lou Gossett played in. I mean, they were interchangeable, those two guys. Both excellent. Freeman, of course, a legend. But this guy was right up there with them as well. So, like I said, he was married 3 times. He once stated that in 1966, he was handcuffed to a tree for 3 hours by the police in Beverly Hills.
Oh,
he was a civil rights activist and stuff like that. Had 1 son and had an adopted kid. So he had been ill and struggled with illnesses in the 90s and 2000s. He had been given a prognosis of 6 months to live from a doctor in 2001.
Well, I think he outlived that.
Rolling. Unbelievable. So he was in movies as late as 2023, 2024. Just a tremendous actor. The
fact that you can stay sharp, you could stay sharp that entire time. That's the thing too, is like the guy didn't lose a step. The most recent thing that I remember seeing him in is there was an HBO series called Watchmen that he was really, really good in. And he was older. And I remember seeing his face and I was like, holy smokes, that guy's been acting for a long time.
He was nominated for a Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Supporting Actor in a Limited or Anthology Series or Movie. So you're right.
Yeah.
He was outstanding in that. He was in Touch of Evil, Blackboard Jungle, all sorts of stuff that he did. He raised Alzheimer's awareness. Just a great, great guy. And but for me, he's defined for 2 reasons. Was supposed to play Gale Sayers, and then Officer and the Gentleman, he absolutely nailed it. But he did plays. He did, look at him, with President Reagan and Clint Eastwood. Just a tremendous life, 87, scandal-free, which is unusual nowadays in our thing here, where somebody big just died. So I just want to wish, on behalf of Joe and myself, nothing but the best to the family. Condolences from somebody big just died on Louis Gossett Jr. Now, Joe, there's one more person we have to give our eulogy to, and very important to me because BB and I thought very highly of him. He was a class act. He was pastoral. He could have been a pastor. He was the public address announcer for the Gary Steele team out there in Gary, Indiana. Was very proud of his, speaking of roots in Indiana. We used to joke with him all the time. I'd go, Tommy, I just hope I see you tomorrow because you're going home to Gary tonight. Mike, Gary's a great place. Gary's the best place. We used to have so much fun. There he is, the great Tommy Williams. And what made that station, the Score, so valuable was that you had a bench and you had tremendous backups to the shows with the regular hosts, whether it be Jiggets and North, whether it be McNeil and Boers, whether it be Tom Scher. Tommy Williams could host, he could do updates, he could produce, and he did that for me. And he did that for everybody, and he filled in. He had other guys. Look at Tommy. One of the nicest men. I was sick to my stomach when I read he passed away. He spent 10 years at the score. And this is why we do the show. Because you just saw a little blurb in the Sun Times. I thought, they got it off something else and, off the obituary thing. I mean, this guy here was just a solid guy. And he was one of the guys, along with Fred Hubner, backup guys that made Jonathan Hood, Jay Hood.
Yep.
These guys were all our bench. And then they ended up being regulars. So that's how good they were. So want to wish him condolences and Tommy. And I know the funeral was today. And I hadn't seen Tommy for a while. I wish I had, because we used to have so much fun. So our condolences for all the scoreheads out there that remember Tommy and everything else. So on behalf of Joe, and Joe, tremendous job putting this together in one day, huh? The Lou Gossett thing came out of nowhere.
Thanks, man. Yeah, just hit it quick. But guy has a heck of a career and so many movies that we can't even name them all in the length of this show.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're already halfway to Vegas. I can tell already. You're already thinking about going to Vegas. And this is how lucky we are. We get to continue on with our life when some people's just end abruptly like that. And like Joe likes to say, you know what, they're croaking two at a time. What can I tell you, Joe, lead us out, baby.
For somebody big just died. That's Mike North. I'm Joe Mandel. Reminding everyone to tune into the Ballroom Network later tonight.
Yes.
We have at 8 o'clock Central, South Burbs Hitmen talking about the lowly White Sox. I know Mike's very excited about them, just as I am.
I just want to say this. I don't think they'll mind. This is just a little bonus, okay?
Yeah.
For everybody. I will say this. I took a nap when they were winning 6-3, and I woke up, and then I heard, it's just a shame a guy like Moncada gets a triple, and then he's just happy with that. You know what I mean? And then they go 1 for 5, and he goes 1 for 5. We're going to have a long year, it looks like, but they're at least playing hard, and they weren't doing that before. So we'll see what happens, but we might have a funeral for them by July, for God's sake. So
I think you might be right, Mike. We'll have to do a show for them if things are getting a little dried up.
Yeah, well, let's hope springs eternal. On behalf of Joe, I'm Mike North. Thanks for tuning in. And support our sponsors. Somebody big just died. Cumberland, Chapels, Pennyville. So long, everybody.